Hello students, welcome to the lecture 6 of chapter 3, and this lecture is the last lecture of this chapter, and in this chapter we are going to cover how to plot or how to locate a point in a plane, okay, if the coordinates are given. That means here what we have the coordinates, okay. Coordinates means we have the x coordinate and y coordinates, and we are going to represent this point on this Cartesian coordinate plane. But in the previous some lectures we have studied that the point also given in the plane and we have to identify its x and y coordinate, but it is the just reverse of those lectures. And here we have the what coordinates of the point. That means we have x and y coordinate, and we have to represent at which quadrant or at which axis those points will lie. Okay, so let's start with a question. So here is the question: plot the points A, B, C and D. So these are the 4 points. We have to plot or we have to locate these points on this Cartesian coordinate system, and here their coordinates are also given. Okay, their coordinates are given, and except this we have to write in which quadrant these points exist. So after locating those points on the Cartesian coordinate system, we have to locate or we have to write in which quadrant or in which axis those points will lie. Okay, so the first point is A 3 5. Okay, we are going to represent this point on the Cartesian plane. So for this you have to first identify the coordinates. Okay, so here x coordinate is 3 and y coordinate is 5, and you see the x coordinate has positive value. It means the x coordinate must be, or this x coordinate must lie towards the right side of this Cartesian plane. Okay, so always whenever you are going to locate a point, start your journey from the origin. Okay, this is the origin. So towards the positive direction of x-axis you have to go, or you have to move 3 units, because x coordinate is 3. So start your journey 1 unit, 2 unit and 3 unit. Understood? Here you reach. Then here the y coordinate is 5 plus 5. Plus 5 means it is towards the positive direction of y-axis. That means towards the upward direction. So you have to now move towards the y-axis, towards the upward. Up to how much unit? Up to 5 unit. How? By using scale. Okay, so 5 unit, see, and now this is 5 unit. See, this is 5, and now you reach at the point, and this point is known as A, and its coordinates is 3 and 5. So when you will do this graphs, then you need to draw it in graph paper, not in plain paper. Okay, always use graph paper, and in graph paper there are already vertical lines, so you do not need to use this scale. Okay, so this is the point A 3 5. Next the point is B minus 3 4. Okay, so in this point B minus 3 4, the x coordinate is minus 3 and the y coordinate is 4. Since the x coordinate has negative value, that means it is towards the left side of the origin. Okay, so towards the left side you have to move up to minus 3 units. Okay, so start your journey from this point and move minus 1, minus 2 and minus 3. Understood? Then you see your y coordinate is plus 4. That means towards the positive direction, towards the upward movement. Okay, so move upward up to how much units? Up to 4 units. So this is your perpendicular distance. Okay, so here you are. Now you reach at the point 4, and this point is denoted by B minus 3 4. Understood? So this is the point. Now the third point is C 3 minus 5. Okay, so in this point x coordinate is 3. So x coordinate 3 means it is towards the right side direction or towards the positive direction of x-axis. So move up to how much units? 1, 2, 3. Now you are here. Then your y coordinate is -5. So negative means it is towards the downmost position or the negative direction of y-axis. Okay, towards this direction, and you have to move up to 5 units in negative direction. So here is the -5. So you have to move towards the negative direction, or you can say the downward movement. Okay. Now you reach at this point, and this point is denoted by C. 3 minus 5. Clear? Next, the point D minus 1 minus 2. So D minus 1 minus 2. In this point, the x coordinate is -1. Okay. Since the x coordinate has negative value, that means it is towards the left hand side. So start your journey from this and move up to how much units? -1 units. Okay. Or 1 units in negative direction. Then here the y coordinate is -2. So negative sign indicates that we have to move towards the negative direction of y-axis or towards the bottom position or downmost position. Okay, and have to cover 2 units in the negative direction. So we reached at this point. Then from this point you have to move towards the negative direction of y-axis up to 2 units. Now here you are, and this point denotes D -1 -2. Okay. Next, the point E 0 -5. Okay. And in this point, this is the x coordinate, and this one is the y coordinate. And you see the x coordinate is 0, and we already know if a point lies on y-axis, then its x coordinate must be 0. Since its x coordinate is 0, then it is confirmed that it should lie on this axis, okay, y-axis. Next, the y coordinate is -5. Though we know that it lies on y-axis, but we do not know whether it lies on the upward direction or towards the downward direction of y-axis. So by seeing y coordinate that it has negative value, that means the point should lie towards the negative direction of y-axis, and you have to move up to 5 units in the negative direction. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And here the point E 0 -5. Okay. 0 means you shouldn't move towards any direction towards x-axis, neither towards positive nor towards negative direction, because the x coordinate is 0. Okay. So you have to move only towards the negative direction of y-axis to reach at the point E, and its coordinates is 0 -5. Understood? You can also take 2 more points. Suppose F 3 0 and G -7 0. Clear? So first find the position of the point F30, and in this point the x coordinate is 3 and the y coordinate is 0. Since the y coordinate is 0, it suggests that this point should lie on x-axis. Why? Because its y coordinate is 0. Now it is confirmed that it should lie on x-axis, but we do not know whether it lies on positive direction of x-axis or negative direction of x-axis. So for this you have to look towards the x coordinate, and the x coordinate is +3. Plus means it is towards the positive direction or towards the right hand side, and up to cover, we have to cover up to 3 units. So 1, 2 and 3. Now this point represented by F30. Confirm? Next, G -7 0. Here x coordinate is -7 and here y coordinate is 0. Since the y coordinate is 0, it means what? It means the point G should lie on x-axis. Okay, so it means the point should lie on x-axis, but we do not know whether it is towards the positive direction of x-axis or towards the negative direction of x-axis. For this you have to look towards the x coordinate. Since the x coordinate is negative sign, so it is towards the left hand side or negative direction of x-axis, and we have to cover about -7 units or 7 units in negative direction. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and here you are. And this point denotes G minus 7, 0. Understood? So these are the points, and you can represent any point on the Cartesian coordinate plane if the coordinates are given. Okay. So now the next task is to write in which quadrant or in which axis those points will lie. Okay. Now we have to identify at which quadrant those points and in which axis those points will lie. Since this is quadrant 1, this is quadrant 2, this is quadrant 3, and this is quadrant 4. Now you see the point A will lie in which quadrant? Quadrant 1. But not the point F. Point F doesn't lie on quadrant 1. It lies on the axis, that is x-axis. So you can write here the point A. Okay, the point A lies on quadrant 1. Now coming to quadrant 2. In quadrant 2 there is only one point, that is B minus 3, 4. So right, B minus 3, 4 lies on quadrant 2. Now in quadrant 3 there is also one point, that is D minus 1 minus 2. So D minus 1 minus 2 lies on quadrant 3. Now in quadrant 4 we have only one point. This is not a quadrant, this is the axis. So in quadrant 4 we have only one point, that is C. So C 3 minus 5 lies on quadrant 4. Okay. So except this 4 points, there are also another 3 points. What are they? Point F. So what we will write? We will write point F 3, 0 lies on which axis? It lies on x-axis. And in which direction? In positive direction. So you can write F30 lies in positive direction of x-axis. Similarly, now the point G minus 70. G minus 70 lies on which axis? X-axis. Okay. It doesn't lie on any quadrant. Lies in which direction? Negative. So negative direction of x-axis. And the point E lies in which axis? It lies in y-axis. And in which direction? In the negative direction. In negative direction of y-axis. Understood? And now let us plot or locate some other points on this Cartesian coordinate system if the points x coordinates and the y coordinates are given in this format. Okay. So here is the question, and in this question it is just like a box, and in this box these are the row which represents the x coordinates, and these are the row which represents the y coordinate. Understood? So this row represents the x coordinate and this row represents y coordinate. Now there are how many columns except this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are 6 columns. Now you see, first from this boxes we have given what? We have given x and y coordinate, and from that x and y coordinate we have to determine the point. Clear? So let us write the first point A. Now if you will calculate the coordinates of A point, then its x coordinate will be how much? Minus 3. And its y coordinate will be how much? 7. Okay. They are in column manner. This is its x coordinate, this is its y coordinate. Now this is the second point. It is its x coordinate, it is its y coordinate. This is the third point. It is its x coordinate, it is its y coordinate. Okay. So it is also very simple. Now for B coordinate or B point, the x coordinate is 0 and the y coordinate is minus 3.5. Okay. For third point C, your x coordinate is minus 1, minus 3 over y coordinate, and for point D, your x coordinate is 1 and its y coordinate is 3. For point E, it is 0, minus 1.25, and for the last point A, its coordinates are 3 and minus 1. Okay. So now from these boxes we determine all the points, and now we have to represent those points on this Cartesian plane. Okay. So starts with the first point. So first point is minus 3, 7. Okay, so for minus 3, 7, again this is your x coordinate, this is your y coordinate, and since x coordinate has negative value, that means you have to move towards the left hand side or towards the negative direction of x axis up to how much units? 3 units. So start your journey from this and move towards negative direction, and now reach at this point minus 3. Now your x coordinate is plus 7. Plus means towards upward, positive direction, and you have to cover about 7 units. Okay, since there is no space, so I think I have to change the question. Suppose this is, you can take 5 since there is no space. Okay, so the point now becomes minus 3, 5. Okay, so here minus 3, now move towards the positive direction of y axis. Okay, now this point, since this is, see, this is minus 5. Now this point represents the point a minus 3, 5. Complete. Next the point 0 minus 3.5. Okay, so 0 minus 3.5. Here x coordinate is 0 and y coordinate is minus 3.5. It is not a whole number. Okay, now you see the x coordinate is 0. Since the x coordinate is 0, it determines or it suggests that this point should lie on y axis, as its x coordinate is 0. Now it is confirmed. Secondly, look at the y coordinate. The y coordinate has negative value. That means we should, or the point should lie in this direction, towards the bottom of y axis. And we have to cover about how much unit? 3.5 units. Okay, 3.5 units in the negative direction. Now start moving in y axis. 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 unit. Now this is 4 unit. Now 3.5 means what? The middle point or the bisector. Okay, now this point represents what? This represents minus 3.5. Simple. Okay, so this point represents the point B 0 minus 3.5. Right? Okay, so coming to third point. For the third point is minus 1, minus 3. So x coordinate and this is y coordinate. X coordinate has negative value, that means it towards left hand side and have to cover minus 1 unit. Now y coordinate has negative value, that means you have to move towards the bottom and have to cover 3 units in the negative direction. So this is minus 1 and now you reach here, this is minus 3 and this point represents minus 1, minus 3. Clear? So next the point D. D1, 3. Since here x coordinate has positive value and have to cover 1 unit, so this. Next the y coordinate has positive value and have to cover 3 units. It means you have to draw the perpendicular distance towards the upward direction or towards the positive direction of y axis to cover 3 units. Okay, so this is your 1 unit. Now from 1 unit you have to move towards the upward in the graph paper. Okay. So this is your point D that represents 1, 3. Here. Next E 0 minus 1.25. Similarly, here x coordinate is 0 and y coordinate is something, some fractions or some decimal point. Since the x coordinate is 0, it determines that this point E should lie on the axis y. Okay. Next, y coordinate has negative value. It suggests the point should lie towards the bottom of y axis, towards the negative direction of y axis, and have to cover how much units? And have to cover 1.25 units towards the negative direction of y axis. Okay, it is clear. Now 1.25 means what? 1.25 means it is greater than 1. Okay, it is greater than 1. Clear? Now, but it is less than 2. Okay, and in between 1 and 2 there are how many straight lines? There are 9 straight lines. So that 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that this gap is to be divided into how many parts? 10 parts. Clear? That means 10 parts, or you can say 10 millimeter. This is important. 10 millimeter represents how much units? 1 unit. Because there are 9 straight lines, that means they are being divided into 10 parts. So 10 millimeters, see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 millimeter means 1 unit. Now this is confirmed. Okay. So 10 millimeters are 1 unit. You have to calculate 0.25 units are how much millimeter. Clear? Since we know 1.25 must greater than 1. This is clear. And it should lie before 2. Okay, that means it lies in between 1 and 2. Confirm. Now you have to find this 0.25. Okay, represents how many millimeter. Okay, you have to calculate 0.25 units are how much millimeter. Okay, how? See, we have write what? 1 unit. How much millimeter? 1 unit is how much millimeter? 10 millimeter. Confirm? Okay. 0.25 means what? 0.25 means 25 by 100. Okay. So 1 unit is 10 millimeter. So we have to find 25 by 100 unit. How much millimeter? 1 chocolate's price is 10 rupees. 2 chocolates price is into 10 into 2 is 20 rupees. Simply 1 unit is 10 millimeter. 1 unit is 10 millimeter. So 25 by 100 units are 10 into 25 by 100. So 0 0 cancel. 25 by 10. That is 2.5 millimeter. So this is important. That 25 by 100 units are 2.5 millimeter. That means you have to cover, see, this is minus 1. Okay. This is minus 1.1. And this is, this point, minus 1.2. And this is minus 1.3. Okay, minus 1.1 means what? Minus 1.10. It means minus 1.20. It means minus 1.30. But I have to find 2.50. Means 2.5. That means you have to calculate the point or the straight line at which 0.25 will lie. Okay. So how you can calculate? See, this is the first point. This is the second point. And in between second and third point, there should be a middle point. Okay. Suppose I am writing this. Suppose this is minus 1, this is minus 2. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And this is minus 2. See. Next. Now, this point represents minus 1.10. This point represents minus 1.20. This point represents minus 1.30. You have to find minus 1.25. Okay, that means it should lie between this point and this point. How? Because as we calculate 25 by 100 at 2.5 millimeter. That means you have to cover 2 straight line. 1 straight line, 2 straight line. Then 0.5 means what? In between these 2 straight line. Okay. So this point in between this 2 and third line, there is a point that represents minus 1.25. Okay, and its coordinate is 0 minus 1.25. Hence the coordinate of E is 0 minus 1.25. Okay, so while calculating, you should remind this. Okay, always take 10 millimeters as 1 unit. This is also 10 millimeters because there are 9 straight lines. 10 millimeter, 10 millimeter, 10 millimeter. So 10 millimeters are 1 unit. Simply you can use this formula for this. See, here minus 3.5. Okay. So as minus 3.5 should larger than or greater than minus 3. This is also clear. Now you have to calculate 0.5. As we know, it should lie in between 3 and 4. Clear? As we know, 3 and 4 means this is 1 unit. So 1 unit. 10 millimeter, you have to find 0.5. 0.5 means what? 5 by 10. Okay. So 5 by 10 unit. 10 into 5 by 10. 10 cancel. 5 millimeter. 5 millimeter means what? You have to find 5 straight lines. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. The straight line represents minus 3.5. Okay. Next, the point F. 3 minus 1. So 3 point in the positive direction of x-axis. So this is 1, 2, 3, 3. Minus 1 in the negative direction of y-axis. Minus 1. Negative direction of y-axis. So this is your minus 1. Now this point represents a 3 minus 1. Okay. So this is done. Now you can represent any numbers or any points on the coordinate system if its coordinates are given.